our understanding of the brain has come a long way. Over millions of years, it has become the remarkable organ that controls our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Nevertheless, as we step into the digital age, an unparalleled transformation is taking place within our brains. Let us first establish a baseline. What did our brains look like a century ago? And how do they compare to our brains now? 100 years ago, the human brain was remarkably similar in structure and function to the brains of our distant ancestors, Zheng Qing. The most primitive part of the brain, or also known as hindbrain. As you can see, the hindbrain is made up of the medulla oblongata, the pons, and the cerebellum. Any damage to the medulla oblongata can lead to respiratory failure or paralysis. Essentially, the part of the brain that keeps us alive and controls our heart rate, respiratory rate, and blood pressure has shown little to no changes when compared to our ancestors. The 21st century has seen a dramatic shift in our cognitive functions. With the advent of smartphones and the internet, our brains are constantly bombarded with information. We are leading to changes in our attention spans, memory, and information processing. Our brains are adapting to the constant influx of digital stimuli, and this adaptation is shaping our cognitive abilities in ways never imagined before. With just a few clicks, we access a vast sea of knowledge, transforming ourselves into walking encyclopedias. Our digital brains are even rewiring our neural networks, enabling us to process information faster and more efficiently. Facebook, X, Snapchat, and Instagram are a daily routine for most young adults in the United States. Approximately 90% participate, and paradoxically, such social media usage leads to social isolation, which refers to a deficiency in social connections and the quality of relationships with others. Social isolation has been examined to have adverse health consequences and a heightened risk of mortality. In 1999 to 1997, only 6.8% of children aged 4 to 17 years old were diagnosed with ADHD in the US. Unfortunately, from 2012 to 2014, we examined a rise in ADHD diagnoses within the same age group, reaching beyond 10%. Essentially, this means that yearly, the number of diagnoses has increased by 5%. Repeatedly shifting one's attention and engaging in multitasking can hinder one's executive functioning, which is precisely what people with ADHD lack. Additionally, constant technology usage limits offline interactions and prevents the brain from entering its default resting state. Now, people with ADHD symptoms may have a greater risk of developing an addiction to the technology itself. However, an alternative explanation is that extensive technology use from addictive behavior causes ADHD symptoms. The prevalence of digital media has fostered a culture of multitasking, primarily due to the effortless ability to switch between tasks by opening multiple browser windows or activating multiple devices. However, is this practice beneficial? Stanford neuroscientist Russ Poldrak's research reveals that engaging in learning while multitasking can lead to the misplacement of acquired information within the brain. Typically, new information finds its way to the hippocampus, which is responsible for long-term knowledge retention. Poldrak warns that if a student studies while watching TV, the information may change where it is stored. In this example, Poldrak states that the information gets stored in the striatum instead, which specializes in storing new procedures and skills rather than facts and ideas. Consequently, the information is stored less comprehensively, making it more challenging to retrieve in the future. In Poldrak's words, multitasking has a detrimental impact on the learning process. Even if learning occurs during multitasking, it becomes less adaptable and more specialized, rendering information retrieval less efficient. Woolpert, 2006. Other research from the NIH indicates that daily computer use over several months, including video games, causes a reduction of neuronal activity within the cortical system. Within the cerebral cortex, these regions control mental activities supporting tasks required for internet searches, including decision-making, working memory, and the ability to suppress non-relevant information. As our digital brains continue to evolve, so must our understanding of them. Researchers are delving into the complexities of digital cognition, exploring the impact of digital technology on attention, memory, and creativity. By better understanding the changes within our brains, we can navigate this brave new world of digital information with intention and mindfulness. The future of the human brain is an open field of possibilities. Advancements in neurotechnology, genetic engineering, and AI will likely reshape our understanding of cognition, intelligence, and consciousness. People who cannot physically speak or walk will have a change in the future, thanks to technology and the digital era. People who are unable to drive can work from home. Technology and the digital era have the potential to significantly help those who are disabled. Over the past century, the human brain has undergone significant changes driven by many factors, including genetics, environment, culture, and technology. While some changes have improved our cognitive abilities, others have introduced new challenges for brain health and mental well-being. As we enter a new era, our ability to harness the power of the human brain for the betterment of society and the individual will be a defining challenge of our time. The story of the human brain's evolution over the last century is a testament to the incredible adaptability and complexity of this remarkable organ.